If you're looking to attract better projects and better inquiries, there are 3 areas I'd focus on first. These are the areas that have the biggest impact on whether you attract premium projects, low quality leads, or nothing at all. And interestingly, none of them start with running ads. So let's get to it. For context, we work exclusively with residential builders. We help builders improve their positioning, generate better inquiries, and create a more predictable pipeline. And across the builders we've worked with, there are clear patterns. The builders who consistently attract better projects aren't necessarily the biggest, they're usually the clearest. And that's where strategy number 1 comes in. The biggest mistake we see is builders trying to be everything to everyone. Their website says they do custom homes, renovations, extensions, duplexes, commercial projects, maintenance work, insurance work, basically everything. And the problem is that when you try to appeal to everyone, you become memorable to no one. So think about it from the homeowner's perspective. If they're looking for a high-end renovation and they land on a website that appears to do everything, it's harder for them to feel confident that this builder specializes in their type of project. The builders attracting the best inquiries tend to have a much clearer positioning. They become known for something. Maybe it's custom homes, maybe it's luxury residential projects, renovations and extensions. The goal isn't necessarily to do less work. The goal is to create a clearer perception of the market. Because when somebody immediately understands who you help and what you're known for, it builds trust a lot faster. And better positioning almost always leads to better inquiries. If you're enjoying the video so far and you want more practical builder marketing advice, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We share strategies specifically designed for residential builders. Okay, let's get to number 2. Build trust before the inquiry. The second thing I'd focus on is trust, because most homeowners don't inquire the moment they discover a builder. They research, they compare, they check websites, they look through social media, and they read reviews. They're trying to answer one question: can I trust this builder with a significant investment? And that's where many builders get stuck. They assume trust comes from showing beautiful finished projects, but projects alone aren't enough to build trust, because homeowners aren't just assessing the final outcome, they're assessing the experience. They're wondering, will the communication be good? Will the builder be organized? Are there any surprises? Will the project be managed professionally? And the builders attracting better inquiries answer these questions before the inquiry even happens. So if you're wondering what this looks like in practice, here are a few things that you can implement straight away. One of the easiest ways to build trust is to simply explain how you work. Many builders know their process inside and out, but they never communicate it. Something as simple as initial consultation, design and planning, pricing and approvals, construction, handover. These things can immediately reduce uncertainty because the client knows what to expect. And the good news is this doesn't need to be complicated. You can include your process on your website as a dedicated Our Process page, on your homepage as a simple step-by-step section, within project proposal documents, in your inquiry follow-up emails, as social media carousels or short videos explaining how you work. And the reason this matters is that homeowners are often nervous about the unknown. The more clearly you explain what happens next, the more confidence people have in moving forward. If a potential client lands on your website and can immediately understand how a project moves from inquiry to handover, you're already reducing uncertainty, building trust before you've even spoken to them. Another thing you can do is turn testimonials into stories. Most testimonials say something like, "Great builder, highly recommend." That's nice, but it doesn't tell the clients much. Instead, try turning client feedback into short case studies. What was the client's challenge? What solution was provided? What was the outcome? These stories help future clients see themselves in the project, and that's often far more persuasive than a generic review. Another way you can build trust is create behind the scenes content. A lot of builders only post finished projects. And the problem is everyone posts finished projects. What homeowners rarely see is how the project actually got delivered. So try sharing things like walkthroughs, team introductions, project updates, planning meetings, quality control checks, material selections. These types of posts show professionalism and help people understand how you work. Another thing you can do is answer common questions publicly. So every builder gets asked the same questions repeatedly. How much does it cost? How long does the process take? What happens before construction starts? What should I budget for? So those questions are actually great content opportunities. If you've answered a question for one client, there's a good chance that hundreds of potential clients are wondering the same thing. So creating content around the questions helps build trust before the conversation even begins. And if you're not sure what content to create, start by writing down the 10 most common questions clients ask you during consultations. And that's your content plan right there. Because ultimately, trust isn't built by telling people you're a great builder. It's built by helping people feel confident that choosing you is the right decision. And finally, strategy number 3. So create a consistent pipeline. The third strategy is where most builders struggle. Many builders rely heavily on referrals, and referrals are fantastic. But referrals are difficult to control. Some months they're strong, some months they're quiet, and that's why builders growing consistently build additional lead sources. It doesn't necessarily mean running ads immediately. It means creating a system where people can discover your business, learn about your expertise, and build trust with you. And eventually they will inquire. The system might include a Google search visibility, a helpful content, social media, email marketing, referrals, partnerships, paid advertising. The exact mix will be different for every builder, but the goal remains the same. Create a predictable flow of opportunities instead of relying entirely on word of mouth. Because when you have a system for generating inquiries, growth becomes much more predictable. And that's usually the point where builders stop worrying about where the next project is coming from. So I want you to remember this. Most builders don't have a lead problem, they have a positioning and trust problem. Because when your positioning is clear, people understand what you do. And when trust is strong, people feel comfortable about inquiring. And when you build a consistent pipeline, you're no longer relying purely on referrals. So those three things work together, and they're often the difference between chasing projects and choosing the projects you actually want to work on. Now, knowing what to focus on is one thing, implementing it properly is another. Because positioning, trust, and lead generation all need to work together if you want to create a predictable pipeline. So that's exactly what we help residential builders do. So get in touch. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we're going to answer one of the most common questions we hear from builders. When should you actually start running ads for your building business? Because while ads can be incredibly effective, they're not always the right next step. We'll show you how to know when you're ready, what needs to be in place first, and how to avoid wasting money on campaigns that aren't set up for success. So we'll see you in the next one.